All right, you guys, welcome back. Welcome back. So today we're looking at United Healthcare Jarvis. Basically, it's United Healthcare's website. You can do a few things here. You can complete an application. You could utilize the United Healthcare chat to find out about a Medicaid status, level, ID number, Medicare ID number, etc. So let's jump right into it. There's a few more things that you can do on here. So the first thing that I want to show you guys, which we went over in the presentation as well, is here on the Medicare and Medicaid eligibility lookup. Okay. We're going to keep using the same client as I mentioned earlier, just for security reasons. And so in this case, we want to look up if Ms. Bell has LIS, for example. Okay. And so in this case, we'll put in her date of birth and information. I know she was born in November already. 19, what you two got it. And here we can actually copy the Medicare ID number. So let me just put that in here. And then you want to hit the checkbox eligibility verification. Okay. Now, is the client Medicare eligible? Yes. Do they have Medicare? Yes. Let's say, for instance, you were on Humana's website, the client only has their social, and you went to Humana's dual special needs plan verification to find the Medicare ID number using the client's social security number. All Humana's website unfortunately gives you is the number. So if you still needed the Part A and the Part B effective date, you could simply come here, or you can use from the get-go United Healthcare's producer chat, which is located right here to the right. I'll show you in a second. However, during busy times like AEP, OEP, the wait can be quite long. So this is the fastest way, in my opinion, to look it up. The other way is to use Marks, and it'll show you. Not everyone has access to that. Hopefully we'll get everyone access. All right. So the most important things here is Medicare ID number, Part A start date, Part B start date. Okay. And then next thing you want to look at, does the client have LIS, stands for low income subsidy? Yes. And then what level do they have? Level 1. And then what's the percentage? 100%, which is great. Okay. Now, has the quarterly maintaining dual LIS or SCP election period been used? The answer here is no, meaning if I would want to switch that client this quarter, April to June, I could use the enrollment SCP LIS. Okay. And then the client is currently on a PPO, and it says she does currently have drug coverage. Okay. So that would pertain to that. Now, to the left, to the right-hand side of it, you see Medicaid eligibility. The reason I rather use Humana's tool is a little bit faster than this, but just so that we can kind of go over it, I do want to actually utilize this tool here today. 347, what we got? 46, so that we can actually do it. It did select automatically the county. You will have to select the gender, date of birth, and that's already in here. And then we have two options. Well, we have one option. There used to be, this is interesting. You always need permission, okay? So usually in order for you to verify Medicaid, you will need social or the client's Medicaid ID number. But I guess apparently you can now do Medicare, which is great because oftentimes we don't have the Medicaid or clients don't want to give us the social. So this is wonderful. Here you will see the client's first and last name. This is what you want to copy then. If you don't have it, is their Medicaid ID number. Again, it shows you if they have LIS, and then also what plan does the client qualify for based on their Medicaid level, okay? On the right-hand side here, you'll see what level they have, partial, okay? And then what plans are they available for? So it would say a no if they wouldn't be eligible for one of those three plans. Instead of the yes, it would say no, okay? Perfect. I hope this helps you guys. I'm going to go back here to the main page and go ahead and shoot the next video. All right. Actually, let me just attach it to this video. The producer help chat, guys, is basically it's individuals that are available for you. Again, you do not have to specifically look for only a United Healthcare plan to utilize the system, right? Even sometimes if I need a WellCare plan, I'm still going to utilize this to ask about Medicaid number, Medicare number, etc. And I'll show you what exactly you put in. So in this case, if you're looking at the eligibility verification because you need a Medicare and Medicaid number, you would simply click on here and start the chat. If you're using a Safari browser like myself, you should see up here, I don't know what happened. So usually there's a page that comes up. Just bear with me a couple of seconds. Usually there's a page that comes up and tells me that I need to approve it. So just bear with me. Okay, well, I guess we'll do that another time. No worries at all. But long story short, a page will come up and you're able to start chatting. It'll tell you how long the wait is for the chat. Okay. So in this case, for some reason, I'm not quite sure why it didn't come up, but no concerns. You would then just say, hey, my name is, etc. Do you mind providing me with the Medicare and Medicaid ID number for client first and last name, date of birth, that you got permission to today, if you got permission, so you say permission received today, and what plan you're planning on enrolling them. And guys, if you don't have a plan because you're not planning on enrolling them, you can always quickly look up a plan and give them that plan ID number, okay? So don't hesitate with that. Same thing if you want to ask contracting question, commission question, benefit information question, or even check on the status of an application as to why is it pending still, etc. Use this tool. It's really, really helpful, okay? And then under the applications tab, you will be able to actually see all of your applications that you submitted, okay, depending on the date, if you submitted some. So here you see a whole bunch, right? And then you'll also see here if something is pending. So for instance, with her, they're still waiting on the Medicaid verification. So I need to reach back out to them. And then unfortunately, I don't see it in the details, but I call. So they're saying the reason for that is pre-CMS, but that's what they're waiting for. We submitted the application or by now it's like 3.5 weeks ago, and it was supposed to start April the 1st. Okay. So that's one thing. And then also you are able to search for any client of your book. If you had multiple ID numbers, you can check for multiple ID numbers and the clients change the dates. But as far as the tools go, here is Lean, which is where you actually will write the application. Okay, so if you have a client, you go into Lean and actually start conducting the application. If you do a MedSup, it would be up here. If you do an MA or PDP, you'll do it up here. Okay, so in this case, I would click MAPD. You put in the client's first and last name, date of birth, and you are able to look up with entering their Medicare ID number, hit search, and then if they can find the client's profile, they will bring it up and you can start. It'll bring a button up here that says start application. Okay, so let's go ahead and actually, while we're doing that, just act like we're doing an application for her so that we can walk through that process. Is it 25, right? Alrighty. So you always fill that out while you're talking to the client. And then the Medicare ID number, remember we gathered that information already. So we want to hit search. And then we want to, here has all her information. We want to start the application, okay? If it doesn't have all the information, you would just have to manually type it in, just confirm that everything looks good, that her address and all that. Again, as you guys can see, when I submitted her application, I did not fill out that information, but I do want to just go one step back here. We do have to make sure, basically, if they do want to do the paper list, we would have to read out the entire prompts, okay? She is signing for herself, so there's no authorized representative assisting her with that. And then next thing you know, they're going to ask, when do you want the plan to start? Well, since we're in the mid-April, we want to start May the 1st. We can never start in the middle of the month. It's always the 1st of the next month. And then there's just a couple of questions here, right? Are you a resident of an institute, right? Like a skilled nursing facility? The answer would be no. Are you enrolled into Medicaid? Yes. You will always have to put in the Medicaid ID number. Do not enroll somebody into a dual plan, but then not put a Medicaid ID number in here because the policy will, or the application won't get approved. And then are you on a Medicaid assistance program? Yes or no? And then from here is where you choose the product, okay? So bringing back to you my favorite Google Calendar. All right, and then just here showing I ended up re-enrolling her on this special needs plan 002. Okay, moving that back out the way. This is what I'm looking for, a special needs plan. Okay, so I'm looking for a dual and a little bit of a, I guess, tricky situation here. Until you select the plan, the ID number won't appear on the side. So sometimes you just have to play with it. I know it's a PPO dual special needs plan. So this must be it. Is it 002? This is the plan. Yeah. So this is the plan that I chose with her to enroll. We're using an SEP, and the SEP that we looked up earlier would be LIS, right? So where is it? Dual special needs maintaining, meaning she still has it and she wants to use that dual special needs election period. Okay. All righty. So on to the next page. Do you or your spouse work? Are you a veterans? It's the same thing like with the other companies, right? If they have veterans benefits, etc. What's the PCP information? Remember, we looked that up earlier. So and I'll show you in a second how you look up doctors here on this side. All right. And then again, you look up by Googling her information, okay? Are you currently a patient? Yes, moving right along. Wonderful. All right, a member who is enrolled into a DSNP, this is really just for you, okay? Disclaimer payment option, you have a monthly, so you do want to read this out to the client, okay? And then also the Social Security, you want to read all of that out to the client, okay? Those are disclaimers. I have those been communicated and understood. Now, Ms. Jones, there is usually a $34 monthly premium payment, but again, because you have Medicaid, Medicaid will take care of that premium payment. And so I have to click the disclaimers and accept them. I do have to choose how the member wants to make the payment so that I can continue, okay? And then last but not least, we have three options. You can sign on the screen, you can sign via email, or you can do the text message. If you go the text message route, guys, it'll send the client a one-time text message saying, hey, this is only will be for one-time use. Do you agree? Then write back yes. They write back and then they send them the link, okay? If you in person with the client signs here, you sign here. You always have to hit the accept button. Otherwise, it won't actually submit the application for you. And also important, after reading the privacy statement to the client, you want to make sure that you hit the checkbox, okay? All right. Now, if you do a telephonic signature, you have to actually start that from the beginning. So here you do not have the option in the beginning, which I'll show you in just a second. I'm going to discard this application. Once you get to the next page, it would allow you to start doing the health risk assessment. Okay, so here's where it says voice signature. Okay, so if you wanted to do the voice signature route, you can do that here. If you ever need to take a look at your applications, you would go over here. You scroll down a little bit, you make sure you look at the submitted applications, and then here you would see start health risk assessment as well. Okay, so that is your option here as well. Wonderful. That is it pertaining to that. Now,